It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we got a beer from Wilde Brewing Company, and this is a can of their Flow Rider. A key line cheesecake sour, 4.9% ABV. There's a look at the can. Got the can out about 40 minutes ago, so there's a bit of condensation on the can, but it's not overly cold. It's ripe for reviewing. Let's get this beer out into a glass, see what we get. I'd like to say a massive thank you to Wilde for sending this beer down to Daniel Bale in Barry, and Daniel Bale passing the beer over to me. It's been around a bit, this beer. Yeah, thank you guys. The guys, Lee W, Daniel Bell, they watch the live streams an awful lot on YouTube. They really enjoy them. Have a listen. That's exactly what I want my sour to do. As crazy as watching a head dissipate as quickly as that. That's exactly what I want my sour beer to do. I bought lots of sour beer recently, modern sours and sours that have been soured with fruit, which I kind of understand a little bit. But for me, when you pour a sour beer, the first thing I want to see is the head aggressively fizz down to nothing. I want that head to disappear as quick as it evolved. And thankfully this beer did that. That's why I said listen to the head. If you could hear that raging carbonation and the head dissipating really quickly, it's the way sour beer is brewed. It should be dissipating that quick. So I'm expecting this beer from Wilde Brewing Company to be incredibly sour. My experience tells me the quicker the head dissipates, the sour the beer is going to be. And that's perfect. That's great for me. That's music to my ears. So we've got a hazy amber coloured beer, good levels of carbonation, no head at all, which is great. Let's get the aroma. Oh, blimey. Wow. The lime. The lime is flying out the glass. Literally, like, psh. Have a bit of that. My only concern at this stage is, have you ever eaten a lime? And the reason why I asked that question is because of the aroma of the beer, first and foremost. It's really limey. It's like smelling, you've just cut a lime in half and it's like putting the lime up to your nose. It's really full on lime. Now, of course, there could be you're going to get a natural sourness or sharpness. If you cut open a lime and sucked on half a lime, it's more or less the same thing as sucking on a lemon. You know, your face is going to do all sorts of weird and wonderful things. But what I don't want the lime to be just doing in this beer is just making the beer sharp. I would like a natural sourness from lactobacillus, you know, a Belgian style sour where it's proper Belgian sour beer. That's where this kind of style come from. Belgian sours. I'm hoping it's just not lime sharpness. Let's give it a go. Cheers. That's the face of a man sucking on a lemon or a lime. Woo! My goodness me! Wow! Oh! 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 That was good. I enjoyed that. Oh wow! What I'm loving about the beer right now is all of that sharpness, all of that kind of lime sharpness, that sourness that's coming through. It goes away as quickly as it comes, a bit like that head falling away. As quickly as the flavours hit you, they're gone again. And you're just left with this light, wafer, biscuity flavour that I love with the sour beer. Don't get it very often these days. It's all about kind of just trying to fruit sour your beer. But this, if you're drinking this beer along with me, if you bought this beer and you're having a bit of a drink along with me, what you will be experiencing now is a lovely, bready, biscuity flavour that just seems to want to linger forever. An almost nuttiness to the beer. I love that. Absolutely love that in a sour beer. That's my favourite part. Apart from when my face screws up and I'm like, whoa, you know, like this. Apart from that, it's this now, this moment right now, where that craziness, that crazy sourness is gone, and you're left with a lingering, biscuity, bready, nutty, malty taste. And that's the backbone of the beer, really. Stripped beer, that's the backbone of the beer. That's all your malt that the brewers use to produce this beer. And you get it in full swing. A real lovely, nutty, bready biscuitiness. So let's tackle the key lime pie part of this beer. Key lime cheesecake. They probably could have done this. They could have taken away the key. They could have probably taken away the cheesecake. And they probably could have just called this a lime sour. But who's going to just buy a lime sour? The marketing team, the brewers, the people involved at Wilde, they need to be a little bit creative, don't they? They need to be able to make you want to pick this beer up from their website or from a local bottle shop or can shop, whatever you call them these days, and go, ooh, key lime cheesecake sour, rather than lime sour. If we were living in the 1980s and this beer was around then, it would simply be called lime sour. It's only the last real 20 years where we've really been marketed at in the beer world. Marketing is a relatively new thing in beer where, you know, you're being kind of marketed at, especially the name of the beer, the styling of the beer. Do you buy that because it's a lime sour, or do you buy that because it's a key lime cheesecake sour? Any cheesecake? Not really. Key lime cheesecake. Now, where's the cheesecake? You could probably say the cheesecake is that kind of bready bottom, which is quite clever. That nutty, bready biscuitiness that I've been talking about. You could probably get away with calling that the cheesecake part of the beer. It's interesting though, because if you drink a sour beer from Belgium, a proper kind of Kriek or a cherry lambic or something along those lines, or just a plain old Belgian sour, then you will always get that underlying note of the malt on the back end. It's probably a tale of two countries, in all honesty. I remember going to Belgium. I was invited for the beer bloggers conference, and the stage was talking, and the person on stage said, do you have any thoughts, do you have any questions and whatnot to us bloggers who were sitting in the crowd. We would ask questions to this Belgian family of brewers. Yeah, and my question was like social media, because it didn't seem to exist in Belgium, especially with the older Belgian brewers. I asked a question about social media, and I think it was Matthew Curtis. In fact, I know it was Matthew Curtis who turned to me and said, "Don't be silly, Simon." He said, in front of everyone, he didn't care. "Don't be silly, Simon." He said, they don't know about social media in Belgium. The youngsters will, but not the older generation of family brewers. And that was like a bit of a moment for me, because I was like, wow, it's proper old school, isn't it? Proper old school here. And that's why they don't call their beers key lime cheesecake sours. They just call them sours. That's the answer, really, is because this is the closest thing that you're going to get to a Belgian sour, really, in terms of proper sourness. But it's just we seem a little bit more clued on, a little bit more kind of how to sell your beer to the public. Yeah. Are we advanced, or are we just to the stage where we're making up stuff now and selling the beers to the public with like, oh yeah, it's a key lime cheesecake sour? I don't know. You'll have your own thoughts on this, won't you? What I will say though is that I like it. I couldn't drink much of it. I don't think anybody could. But I like it. I reckon I could share a can. I'm already thinking I could have a couple more sips of that, and that's my lot. I'd be needing to share this with the wife. This is a proper like struggle to drink it all yourself, but novelty enough to buy it, to share it. Imagine you're sat on a balcony enjoying the Florida sunset while eating key lime cheesecake. Here we are, here's the marketing. And drinking sparkling lime juice. Who does that? Well, we don't need to imagine anymore. This sour beer packs a super sour punch, all backed up by a creamy mouthfeel from the lactose that will have you thinking you're drinking alcoholic Sprite. Wow. Alcoholic Sprite. I'm not sure if that's a good thing. Go on, people in your early 20s, go and drink alcoholic Sprite, you know, it's that sort of kind of attitude, isn't it? I don't know. I'm ready to rate this one. I'm ready to rate it. Flow Rider Key Lime Cheesecake Sour. It's bonkers, really. It's a bonkers beer. Water, malted barley wheat, lactobacillus plantarum, lactose, milk, hops, yeast, and lime concentrate. Isn't it amazing? So it's lime concentrate. I mean, they're not afraid to put it on the side of the can. So, what are we thinking, everybody? You could, just thinking how you could make this quickly. You could buy a load of lime concentrate from a Home Bargains or your local supermarket, and you could probably chuck it into a cheap sour beer. If you bought a Belgian sour, you can pick them up on websites for £2. Big bottle of lime cordial. Whack it in your glass with your Belgian sour, and boom, you've got this. What I like about Wilde Brewing Company is they're not afraid to say it. They're not afraid to say that they've used lime concentrate here. Lots of breweries who make these styles of beer, they don't put the ingredients on the can. They just don't bother. They don't do it. And I think that they should have to. They should have to. They should be forced to. I'm glad Wilde are doing it on their own, off their own backs. But it just shows you, doesn't it? You really, all of your kind of sourness and everything, and all of the kind of sharpness is just coming from lime concentrate. It's a lime concentrate. We all know it's not that expensive to buy. I don't know. I like it. I'd share it. I couldn't be able to drink it all. The more it's put to me now, but the more I've read the back of that can, the more it makes me realise, you know, open a bottle of lime concentrate and have a mouthful. You're not too far away from this, to be honest. I couldn't drink the whole glass. Too much for me. Wilde Brewing Company, they've either absolutely rocked me with top quality beer that I want to buy over and over again, or they've made me go in other circumstances. I really don't like this beer. They're a strange company. A strange company that keep throwing things at the wall to seeing what sticks. And the stuff that sticks is really blooming good. Wilde makes some exceptional beer. But also the stuff that slides down the wall, the stuff that don't stick, yeah, it really doesn't stick very well. Flow Rider, Key Lime, Cheesecake, Sour. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. The fact that I couldn't drink the whole glass is probably a deciding factor for me. Yeah. 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.